Welcome back, learner. Myself, Dr. Vinita Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, RGSE, Banaras Hindu University, with the course Rudimentary Principles and Practices of Managerial Economics. Today, we are going to start with the lecture number 28, that is Production and Theory of Production. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about production functions, and in today's class we are going to discuss in detail the short run law, that is law of variable proportion. In this we are going to study what are the assumptions of the law, what are the various stages of the law through graphical and tabular representation. Concept and definition of law of variable proportion. Law of variable proportion is the law of short run. That means in short run there are two factors, the fixed factors and the variable factors. So if in order to increase the output or to increase the level of production in the short run, we can only do by changing the variable factor. We cannot change the fixed factor in the short run. So this law basically deals in the short run, in which two variables are there. The first one is the variable factors and the other is the fixed factor. In order to increase the production, we can only do with the help of variable factors because fixed factors remains constant. Initially this law is known as law of diminishing return by Marshall, and this law was only applied in agriculture. But the modern economist called it as law of variable proportion that could be applied to all the sectors of the economy, including the agriculture sectors. This law is also known as law of proportionality, law of diminishing marginal physical returns, and law of return to factors. That means modern economists named it in various forms. This law states that when output is increased by adding units of variable input by keeping other input as constant, initially the total product will increase at increasing rate, then at diminishing rate, reaches to its maximum and eventually starts falling if continue adding more and more variable input to fixed factor. It means in short run, as I already told you people, there are only two factors, the fixed factors and the variable factors. In order to increase the production in short run, you can only do by increasing the variable factor, because you cannot change the fixed factor in the short run. So as you are going to increase the use of variable factor, initially the total product will increase at an increasing rate, then at diminishing rate, reaches to its maximum point and eventually starts falling. Why this law is known as law of variable proportion? I am talking about the word proportion. It means these two factors will not change in same proportion simultaneously, because one factor is constant, only a variable factor is changing. So the relationship between the various factor is not equal, the proportion is not equal, rather it is variable in nature, because it is only the variable factor that is changing and the fixed factor remains constant. Definition: according to Benham, as the proportion of the factor in a combination of factor is increased after a point, first the marginal and then the average product of that factor will diminish. According to Lefkovitch, the law of variable proportion states that if the inputs of one resource is increased by equal increment per unit of time, while the inputs of other resources are held constant, the total output will increase, but beyond some point the resulting output increases will become smaller and smaller. As per G.J. Stigler, as equal increment of one input are added, the input of other productive service being held constant. Beyond a certain point, the resulting increment of product will decrease, that is, the marginal product will diminish. So basically all this definition signifies that the law of variable proportion, that is the law of short run, the product will increase initially and eventually you will see the product will fall because the proportion between the fixed factors and the variable factors get disturbed. Assumptions of law of variable proportion. The state of technology remains constant. This law says during the process of production, the technology you are using should remain constant for the application of this law. The proportion between the factors are variable in nature and not fixed. Why? Because there are two factors, fixed and variable. You are not increasing the fixed factor, you are increasing only the variable factor. That means the ratio between the two factors is not same. One is increasing and one is constant. So that is why the proportion between the two factor is variable in nature and not fixed. There are fixed as well as variable factors for the operation of this law. That means according to this law, there are two factors, the one is fixed and the other is variable. This law is applicable in short run only, as in long run all the factors becomes variable. This law is the law of short run because in long run all the factors, in fact even the fixed factors are converted into the variable factors. So this law is only applicable in the short run where there is two factor, the one is fixed and the other is variable. All the units of variable factors are homogeneous and equally efficient. That means all the variable inputs you are using all are in same quality, size, efficiency. That means each and every variables are homogeneous in nature. Factors of production becomes imperfect substitute of each other beyond a certain point. As per this law, this says that there is substitution up to some limit. But after a optimum limit, you cannot substitute one factor with the other factor. That means factors of production becomes imperfect substitute to each other beyond a certain limit. This law applies to the field of production only. This law is only and only applicable in the field of production. It is easy to calculate the change in output due to change in variable factor. Because fixed factor is same, you are increasing variable factor. So whenever you are increasing the variable factor, it is the variable factor which is ultimately increasing the level of output. So you can easily relate by adding how much variable factor, what is the change, what is the difference that is there in the total product. That means with the help of variable factor, you can easily identify how much differences is there in the total product. Stages of law of variable proportion. This law of variable proportion is basically having the three stages. The first stage is law of increasing return. The second stage is law of diminishing return, and the last stage is law of negative return. So starting with the first stage, that is law of increasing return. Why this law is increasing return? Because in this stage, every unit is increasing. That means the fixed factor is constant. In order to increase the level of output, you can do it with the help of increasing the variable factor. When you are increasing the variable factor over the fixed factor, you are actually using the fixed factor efficiently, and that will increase your total product, average product and marginal product. So in this stage, all these three products are actually increasing in nature, and that is why this stage is known as increasing return. Initially, when you are actually adding variable factor, your total product will increase at an increasing rate, then it will increase at a diminishing rate. Average product will also increase, reaches to its maximum and it stays constant. Marginal product will also increase, reaches to maximum and then fall. That means all these three products are having the nature of increasing, and that is why this stage is known as increasing stage. This stage comes to an end where marginal product is equal to the average product. So first stage comes to an end where MP is equal to AP. Second stage, law of diminishing return. Why this law is diminishing? Because in this stage, your total product is increasing but at a diminishing rate. That means it is increasing but at a diminishing rate. That is why this stage is known as diminishing. Your average product starts falling in this stage and your marginal product continues to fall. And this stage comes to an end where marginal product becomes equal to the 0. As soon as the marginal product becomes 0, it is the end of the second stage. And that is why this stage is known as diminishing, because your marginal product, your average product and your total product all are diminishing in nature. The third is law of negative return. Why this law is law of negative return? Because in this, your average product continues to fall, your marginal product will become negative, and at this stage your total product starts falling. Because your total product starts falling, that is why your marginal product is negative. As long as your total product is increasing, the marginal product will become positive. But as soon as your total product starts falling, your marginal product will become negative. And that is why this stage is known as negative. How you can connect it? Because your marginal product is negative and your total product is falling, and your average product will always be positive. This is the negative return. That means these three are the stages of the law of variable proportion. Initially it is giving you the increasing return. Again you are increasing the variable factor, it will give you a diminishing return. Again you are increasing the variable factor, it is giving you the negative return. That means with every increase in variable factor over the fixed factor, initially the proportion between the variable and the fixed factor was good. That is why there was increasing return. It was diminishing because the combination is getting more good. But in the third stage, the proportion between the variable factor and the fixed factor is not good. at what stage the producer want to continue its production. That means if I want to know among the 3 stages which particular stage is an ideal, then that is the second stage. Why? Because in second stage your total product is reaching to its maximum and stays constant. Because this is the stage where you are actually employing variable factor to increase your level of output. The producer will not choose stage 1 and stage 3 because this is not a economic stage. Why this is not an economic stage? Because in the first stage you are not using your fixed factor to its optimum level. You are increasing variable factor and that is why your total product is increasing. So in the first stage you are not using your fixed factor to its optimum level, and with the intention you continue with the second stage. You will not use the third stage because in the third stage the proportion between the fixed factors and the variable factor is not good, and because of that your total product starts falling. So for a rational producer, the producer will choose the second stage, that is the law of diminishing return, because the proportion of fixed and the variable factor combination is ideal, to which the producer is getting the maximum output and the optimum profit. Because this is the stage which the producer is going to choose, because the combination of the fixed and the variable factor is good, and that is why the producer is getting the optimum output, optimum profit at this level. This can also be explained with the help of the table. As you can see, a table, it is having a 6 column. The first column is fixed factor. Here the land is a fixed factors, that is not going to change. Throughout the period you can see the fixed factor, that is land, is 2 acres. The second column denotes labor, which is the variable factors, and you can see that one by one you are increasing the variable factors in order to increase the level of output and to use the fixed factor, that is land, to its optimum level. The third column denotes the total product, which signifies that as you are increasing, as you are employing more and more variable factor from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, your total product is increasing from 0, 10, 40, 90, 120, 140, 150, 150 and 140. Fourth column is the average product, which is also increasing, reaches to its maximum and then falling. And the fifth is denoting the marginal product, which is actually saying with every increase in one variable units, that is labor, how much extra total product being added by that extra variable factor. That means by employing one more variable factor, how much that extra labor is actually contributing in the process of total product. And the sixth column basically denotes the various stages of production. So as you can see, this line, that is this, that means when you have actually employed the fourth unit of labor, where your total product is 120, your average product is 30 and your marginal product is 30. Because as I already told you, the first stage comes to an end where your average product becomes equal to the marginal product. You can see your total product is increasing from 0 to 10, then 10 to 40, 40 to 90 and 90 to 120. That means with every extra variable units, you are actually increasing it by 10, 30, 50 and 30. That means initially your total product is increasing at an increasing rate, then it will start at diminishing rate. As again, if you are going to imply more variable factor, that is from 5th to 6th, from 6th to 7th, you will see that your total product is increasing but at a diminishing rate. Your average product continues to fall and your marginal product is also falling and reaches to 0 when you are going to employ 7th unit of labor. At 7th unit of labor, you are getting the maximum output, that is 150, and this is the point of saturation. At this point, the producer should stop hiring any further labor, stop producing any further goods, because after this the total product will start falling rather than increasing. So second stage comes to an end where your marginal products becomes equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because your total product was 150 at the 6th unit and again it is 150 at the 7th unit. That means when you have increases the labor from 6 to 7, the extra one labor hasn't contributed anything in the total product, and that is why your marginal product is 0, and this is the end of the second stage. The third stage, if you are going to employ one more unit of labor, your total product will start falling, that is 140, your average product continues to fall and your marginal product becomes negative, and this is the negative return to stage. So this basically means initially with increase in variable factor, you are increasing the total product. As you are employing more and more variable, it is again increasing the total product at a diminishing rate, but a point will come when the combination between the fixed factors and the variable factors is so much disturbed that instead of increasing the total product, it is going to reduce the total product. So this is the explanation of the table which I have already discussed with you people. You can go through it. Now the graphical representation of law of variable proportion. On the x-axis you will have units of labor, that is the variable factor. On the y-axis you will have the output, and TP, AP and MP denotes total product, average product and marginal product. So I am drawing it. Your total product will start from the point of origin and it will be like this. That means initially your total product is increasing at an increasing rate, that is shown by the concavity of this graph, and it will be at this point. That means till point of inflection your total product is increasing at an increasing rate. And how can you signify it? That is with the concavity of the graph. After the point of inflection your total product is increasing but at a diminishing rate, and how it is signifies? That is the concavity of the total product. At this the curve is convex in nature, and after the point of inflection the curve is concave in nature. So that means your total product is increasing rate, then after at diminishing rate, reaching to its maximum and stays constant and then starts falling. Your marginal product will increase, reaches to its maximum and then fall and like this. And your average product will also increase, but it will be below the marginal product, crosses and then will be like this, as you can show in the graph. That means your average product is increasing, reaching to its maximum, stays constant and coincide with the marginal product at when the unit of labor is 4, because at this point your marginal product is equal to average product, and your marginal product will above the average product, because if your average product is increasing, your marginal product will also increase but at a higher speed. If your average product is falling, your marginal product will also fall but at a greater speed. That is why your marginal product is above the average product. After this point, you can see your marginal product is falling, becoming 0 at 7th unit of labor, and at 7th unit of labor your total product is at point of saturation, that means as maximum point, and after this point your total product will start falling and your marginal product becomes negative. That means this is the first stage, this is the second stage, and this is the third stage of law of variable proportion. Your first stage coming to end at this point, this is the point. Your second stage comes to end at this point, and your third stage is at this point when your marginal product is negative. So this is the explanation of the graph. You can go through it. Reasons for application of law of variable proportion. Why this law is increasing, diminishing and negative. Why the law is increasing return? Because the reason is better utilization of the fixed factor. Initially, you have a large number of fixed factor, you have a small variable factor. So, as you are increasing more and more variable factor, you are properly using the fixed factor, and that is the reason of increasing return. Second, increase efficiency of variable factor. Initially, the variable factor is less in number. As you are increasing more and more variable factor, the variable factors are using the efficiency at a greater speed. A proper coordination and combination is there between the fixed and the variable factor, and that is the reason they are highly efficient, and due to efficiency there is increase in the production at the initial level. Indivisibility of fixed factor. As you know that there are certain factors which cannot be divided into small parts. In this example, you cannot divide the land into the small parts. So, as you are adding more and more variable factor to the fixed factor, it will give you a increasing return. Why the law is diminishing return? Because optimum combination of factor. As you are employing more variable factor, a point will come when the combination between the variable and the fixed factor is optimum. That means that is the maximum combination between the fixed and the variable factor, and this combination will give the maximum output to the producer. So, because now the proportion between the two factor is at its optimum level, and that is the reason of diminishing return. Second reason is imperfect substitute, because after a optimum point you cannot substitute one commodity with the other commodity for increasing more output, because after some point the substitution between the commodity is not possible, and this is the reason where you are unable to substitute one factor with the other factor, and this is the reason for the diminishing return to this law. Why the negative return? Limitation of fixed factor. As I already told you, fixed factor are constant, fixed in nature. You cannot increase or decrease the supply of the fixed factor in short run. As you are increasing more variable factor, the proportion of variable factor is more and the proportion of fixed factor is less, and due to this there is a negative return, because fixed factor is now less, variable factor is more. Due to this reason there is negative return. Poor coordination between variable and fixed factor. Once the optimum combination has been achieved, if you are going to increase any further level of the variable factor, the combination will disturb. There will not be a proper coordination between the fixed factors and the variable factors. The efficiency of the variable factor will start falling, and this is the reason for the negative return for this law. Decrease in the efficiency of the variable factor. As I already told you, when the combination, that means when the proportion of fixed factors and variable factor is totally disturbed, the variable factors are in more nature, they are not getting a proper tools for doing the production. So that will reduce the efficiency, and this is the reason for the negative return of this law. So in today's lecture we have discussed about the law of variable proportion, that is the law of short run, in which we have discussed about the assumptions, the stages, the tabular representation, the graphical representation. This law basically tells you that there are two factors, one is fixed, one is variable. In order to increase the production, you can do it with the help of variable factor, but a point will come when the proportion between these two factors is disproportionate, and this leads to the diminishing followed by the negative return. So thank you for today's sessions. We'll meet you again for the next session, that is on return to scale, the law of long run. Thank you.